Thanks for coming down and hanging out in the basement with me today. What we've got is one of my very first Lionel steam engines that I purchased from Cabin Fever Auctions probably about a year or two ago. And it's a 2026. It was made between 1948 and 49. And for that time since I've owned it, it's basically been sitting under my table waiting for me to work on it, collecting dust, of course. So I think it's long overdue for its turn to get worked on. One of the other engines I purchased at the same time was this 221 Dreyfuss-inspired Lionel locomotive, and this thing is a really fast runner. Runs really good. Not much for power, but it's kind of a starter engine, so that's to be expected. If you're interested in learning more about this particular engine, I've done a couple videos on it, and I'll post one up here. Here's a close-up view of the engine. Quite dirty. Got a little bit of corrosion here. This side is the best looking side. Doesn't look great, but it's all pretty much all there on this side. Here's the other side. We're missing a rod here, and we're also missing a crosshead. There's no crosshead here, like we've got on this side here. This piece is missing. So that's something we gotta change. I do have one. Getting away from here. But yeah, otherwise she looks pretty good. It is a smoking engine, and see if I can move the light around here so you can see. If you look down in there, it is plugged solid. So I believe this engine probably used the smoke pellets, and somebody got a little too excited with those, and it's got way too much residue in there, so we'll have to melt that out of there. But we've got a broken off light holder, but that's no big deal. And the rest of the pilot seems okay. All the wheels are here and everything, and it does move freely, so that's good. Let's take a look at some of the other tools I'm going to be using. And some of the parts, I should say. Here's the crosshead. We've got a couple replacement shoes. This is the replacement rod that we're missing. And I've got a couple little screws here. And just various cleaners and lubricants and stuff, and that's pretty much it. I think the first thing I'm going to do is tear this sucker down and see if we can get the chassis running at least. Then I'll tackle this shell. The paint is also cracking really bad here. There you go. But that's okay. It gives a character. I'm not really interested in repainting this or anything at this time. But hey, you never know. One thing I forgot to mention is we've got the tender to look at. This is the correct tender for it. It is a 6466 WX here. And of note, the wires are brittle, insulation is brittle and cracking, which is normal for that. The trucks look okay. The rollers, while a little worn, they'll still be usable. The shell is cracked pretty badly. And there's no screws for it either. But I do have a couple shells, so I might change out the shell. We'll see. I just happen to have a couple. But this is the whistle here. Got a relay that would be activated by the whistle button. And then it's got a regular open frame motor here. And a whistle that goes around. And from what I can tell, yeah, there you go. It was a little seized up, but it's loose now. But that's pretty cool. That'll be fun to work on. But, alright, on to taking apart the engine. Main thing, we got a single screw up top here. And hopefully we can get it out without knocking this pin out. But that's okay if we have to. Not the end of the world. This pin actually looks a little bent. But maybe that's just the way they all are. We've also got some flathead screws down there. So I'm going to start by taking off the front pilot truck. A couple screws here. I think it's really cool that most of these components are shared between other steam engines, so you know, if you need a screw, you can probably find one. I think that's really cool. Alright, so there's the pilot truck off. I believe this, I don't know if I had to replace this or not. This looks pretty new, so this might be a replacement part. Alright, here's our light bulb. And in there you can see the smoke unit. And I'm sure it's quite stuck. There's actually a little piston or something that works with it there. Alright, let's see what's going to be next. I could take the steam chest off. I think that would probably be a good thing to do. I don't think anything else is going to be holding it in. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but the screw here on this is on the wrong side on this crosshead here. So this screw should be on the other side. So realistically, this whole piece here should be on this side. But that's okay. Alright, let's see. Let's get in this guy. Like I said, I've never really had one of these apart. Okay, we got our railing on one side is holding it in. Alright, this one's probably just a little bent. Okay. Is that going to be coming out? Well, I thought I had that all the way out. Maybe it's a really long screw. Nope. Just being difficult. Yeah, that's pretty good size there. There we go. Ah, yep. There's that dusty, grimy pilot, but it doesn't appear broken at all, unless somebody's filed something, but it's alright. Looks good. That'll clean up nice. Let's pull off the rear truck next. That's just held on with a screw in back here. This screw has a kind of bearing surface on it here. It's not threaded all the way up here. Alright. Unhook this guy. Yeah, this guy's definitely more like the original. Got dirt on it and everything. Okay, let's see how we're looking. Time to pull off these guys. Now, you look at these screws here, and it's like, boy, those look kind of janky compared to the other ones. The other ones are kind of polished and finished off. This is actually correct for this. They had some shortages in the factory, I believe, so this is like a standard for the time, a hardware screw or something. Alright, that's coming off. Okay, there we go. I'll have to look in the parts book, see if there's any washers missing or anything, but this guy can just dangle. Alright, so this is part of the crosshead here, and it's loose. So let's get my screwdriver on it. Hopefully I can get my screwdriver and get this screw off. Yep. Okay, so we got a very short screw that was about ready to fall out. Just when handling this, I got to be careful not to really bend this up too much, because that's I might be able to press those out. That looks like a pin that's pressed in here. Let's get this side off. Get some pressure on this thing. There we go. So we'll get this crosshead screw out. Yeah, so this guy really should have been on the other side here, so the screw is on the outside. Just might have been assembled wrong because we've got a nice, kind of a nice stamped detail here. Alright. See, this pin's actually coming out. That pin's sticking out here. So maybe we can knock those out to make cleaning a bit easier. Okay, there you can see the smoke unit up in there. This is the piston for it. And this guy's the train is going around. It's supposed to go up and down and get the puffing effect. I might have to heat that up to get this portion. Oh, there we go. Just released. There you can see that piston. Okay, excellent. That's good news. Now, the tricky part. Will the mechanism come out? It's gonna have to come out from the front first. Well, looks pretty good, but there's not a whole lot of room around that smoke unit. I might have to pull that pin out that's in the back here, hammer it out. I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. The smoke unit kind of makes it difficult. There's not much room here. It's close. I wonder if somebody's pried it. But they have. Let's see if we can do something like that. Carefully, of course. Oh yeah, not a problem. Pfft, yeah. Whoa, look at that. Look at that. Look at all those crusties around there. Jeez. That'll take some cleaning. Alright, and the hole in the top is open, so that's good. Since I'm going to do a super duper deep clean on this, I will be pulling off the handrails. I've got some insulation there for the E-unit. Alright, let's get this guy set aside. Wow, that's craziness. Let's look at all that crystalline stuff there. Smoke fluid and whatnot. We could also buy a replacement heater. We'll just have to see what happens, how it goes, how it works. Alright, so I'm looking at the back here. These wires are pretty crusty too. All smashed in. I think that E-unit is pretty dark, the drum. I don't think we're going to get any action out of it. Alright. Let's pull it out and take a look at it. Alright. Helps to have the right size screwdriver, because that was a little tight. Not terrible, but a little tight. One screw holds it in. It's just kind of... everything's just kind of tucked in here. Alright, move some stuff over this side. Hopefully nothing's binding. Okay. Let's take a look at the E-unit here. Oh yeah. So you can see it's all dark here. Just some age. Does that thing even rotate? Oh yeah, it rotates. Just very dark. How's the fingers look? Well, they're all there. That's a good sign. Yeah, the fingers don't look terrible. Okay. Let's see if we can get any sign of life out of this thing. Okay, got her set up on the track. We got some voltage on here. Whoop. Was it doing something? Those shoes are mighty bad. Let's see if we can tweak them a little bit. They are worn out and dirty. Let's see what we got. No, we're not. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we're not getting much of anything right now. Alright, there we go. The solenoid is working here. But again, we're not getting much out of it. Let's start by taking the smoke unit off. First one I've ever had to work on, because this is only my second steam engine. Okay, we've got a larger, real short screw here. Stuck to my fingers. Yeah, that's working. See, smoke unit's was getting hot there. Okay, there's our piston. There's the actual unit. So we got a... what do we got here? There's the headlight wire. We've got a single thin wire going to our primary connection over here, which everything else is going to. Ooh, that's a lot of wires. So the wires from this guy, we got the center shoe, headlight, and smoke unit, plus the unit here for the drum. Alright. That's good that the heater still works. That's very good. Right. Let's get my heavy-duty soldering unit in position here and unsolder pretty much everything from here. This will be fun to redo. Alright, there's that. That was easy. As long as we're taking stuff apart, let's go check out the motor brushes. Tough one. There we go. Well, that's why it's not running. Check that out. The motor brushes are jammed in their tubes. Yeah, they're stuck really good in there. Like I said before, excess lubrication doesn't really hurt a locomotive, just means you gotta clean it up a lot more. I do see a crack in here, but not enough to require a replacement. And this one's already starting to come back out, I think. Looks like I'll have to get something to poke those out from the other side. Oh well, that's the way it goes. How's our motor look? Oh, not too bad from that angle. Let's look at this side. This is the bearing support for the motor. Doesn't seem too bad. Let's see how difficult this is to pull off. Oh, not bad at all. This one, however, is a little tougher. I might have to get my bit set. The screwdriver is just a little bit too big for this screw. Nope. This set that I have here is real good. It's made by Wheeler. It's meant for like gunsmithing and stuff, but look at all the different flat blades you got in here. This is where it really pays off, because there's a whole bunch of different thicknesses and widths. Works really good. Perfect. If I would have kept trying with that other screwdriver, it would have really damaged the screw. Okay. Yeah, you can see the excess lubrication and stuff there we'll have to clean off. Alright, now that that's out of the way, I think we might be able to squeeze this past. If not, no big deal. Doesn't look like it. Looks like the wheels are going to be in the way. That's okay. It's nice to just get everything out and clean it, but that's not going to happen here. Alright. Now, let's get this puppy apart. Okay, they do make tools for the reverse unit here, but they also show in the manual you can use a pliers to pry it open. Let's see if we can do that and see where stuff flies. So the retaining pin is right here. So we gotta try to go right in here, get two hands on the pliers and just force it open. Some are easy, some are real tough. Let's see what we can do. Oh. There we go. That one was real easy. Okay, here's our bottom plate. Fingers still look pretty good. I mean, clean, willing to be clean, but still quite good. Here is our drum. Full of oil, or probably smoke fluid, but yeah, that'll clean up real nice. There's no burn marks on it. That'll be fine. Alright, and let's check out the other set of fingers here. Okay, look at those, and they look just beautiful. Here's a plunger. See those fingers a little better. They're not worn, they're not burned away, so that's a good sign. Alright, I will work on getting this thing cleaned up, which will take a while, but that's okay. And I'll be back with you, hopefully, with a cleaned up unit, ready to test. One of these brushes just worked their way out, but look at how slimy that is. Wow. It looks a little on the short side, but I think it's still serviceable. We'll see what pressure, how much the spring pressure still has, but man, that thing is just slimy. Thought you guys like to see that. Yeah, just as soon as I was moving the motor around, I could see it just laying out. Yeah, this one's working its way out too. But yeah, pretty crazy stuff. Well, I just pulled the other spring out, or the other brush. Take a look at the spring. Spring has failed. We could stretch it out, but what's going to what's going to happen is it's just going to get compressed. But here, take a look at this, how sticky it is. Stays stuck on my finger. That's pretty crazy. Alright, back to cleaning. Got things all cleaned up with my combination of naphtha solvent and then a final rinse down with a little bit of brake cleaner to get the rest of the gunk out of the way. Gears cleaned up really nice. Had to do a little manual cleaning on the wheels with a screwdriver and a toothbrush, but they're definitely better. One of the things I found, however, when I was moving it around is right here. This has been dropped. So it's a real hard hit. I'm going to try to hopefully bring it back a little bit in line so it doesn't rub on anything, because right now it kind of rubs on this gear right here. So we'll see if I'm successful or if I end up breaking the wheel, but it is what it is. It must be fixed before it can work. Cleaning this up, I see we got a few cracks over in here, but I don't think that'll affect it too much. It'll still run okay. But yeah, everything's going good, and we'll see how the rest of it cleans up. Oh, one more thing. These guys, when I was cleaning them, the thin plating of chrome is starting to come off on them, so this one looks real yellow here. That's the base metal behind the chrome. So can't win them all, but we'll flip it around so the nice side's on the outside, hopefully. Well, that turned out really good. I just used a brass punch. I supported the bottom of it on my little toy anvil. And yeah, wheels now work without hitting. Time to reassemble some stuff and see if we can make it go. Alright, time to test. I do not have the E-unit assembled. It is just sitting in there empty. Here's the drum here for it. So nothing's connected that way. I'm going to attempt to use some test leads here. See if I can get this thing to roll one way or another. I'm sure it's going to work fine, but I just kind of want to do this before I put together the E-unit here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the inside one here, carefully. Hopefully without bending that contact too much. Alright, now we got the chassis going to the wheels, which is one side of the field coil here. Other side of the field coil should go to that where I got this yellow wire. One side of the brush, the other side of the brush to the center. There we go. Runs good. Now, to reverse direction, we just change the orientation of our brushes. Then we hit the center rail again. There we go, she's a runner. Sweet. Alright. Alright. So I was able to weasel this guy out of here. Had to unsolder the short wire which goes to this terminal right there. But the thing you gotta be careful when cleaning these is these bend real easy. So, and we got some nice black deposits on here, not from soot, but just, I think, over lubrication. So I'm going to put a little bit of my favorite naphtha solvent on a rag here, to paper towel. I'm supporting the back of the wipers here. And also, this works pretty good. This is just a cotton swab I got, and it'll help keep the shape of the wiper so I won't distort it. This will clean all the grime and grease off of it. I'm only wiping down. I wiped up a little bit, and of course it caught the edge of this thing. These things are real fragile. So here's the step you really got to be careful on. This is my Scotch-Brite. I want to clean these. They're not bad at all, but like the bottom ones had just a little line of where it was not going to make contact. So just very carefully just press it down, supporting it from the back. I'm going to have to retweak these to get them in alignment. But these fingers are in excellent shape. They're not really worn at all or burned. So yeah, those look like new now. So all I really got to do is kind of tweak them so they're all in alignment. All nice and straight. It doesn't take much. That's actually pretty good right there. I might give them a little twist so they're perfectly, you know, level. Try to get on the side here. We don't want to touch anything with the actual curve of these, because he's have a nice curve to him. Just kind of eyeballing it up just to kind of make sure things are sitting nice and even. And when I put this together, I'll set the drum in place. We'll make sure there's enough force on them. They don't need much. But these are probably the original fingers. And if you're gonna bend them, you need to be down at the base here. That's the thing that I learned with the pinball machines. If you adjust any kind of leaf switch or something, you want to do it right at the base. Okay. All right, another thing I want to tell you about is these old units have a brass sleeve that when you take the drum and stuff out, you can peel apart. It's bent over 3 places here. You can peel that up. This brass sleeve drops out. What's great about that is you're able to polish it. Now, you don't have to use this polish, but it definitely helped on my 221 Dreyfuss style locomotive that had a sticking reverse unit in it, or E-unit. So that works really good. Polish this guy up, use a Q-tip or something, get in there, because this thing gets oxidized. And then I'm also going to polish this guy up. Now, unfortunately, this guy is rather rough. I'll do my best. We'll make it as good as I can, and it should, in theory, operate better. And here's another thing. I noticed on my other one that this brass sleeve is just curled around from a flat sheet, which there's nothing wrong with that. That makes sense. But if you get a loose fit in here, then this thing can cut in exaggerated terms, the plunger here can sit a little sideways and get hung up. I found that on my other one, when I tightened this up, the plunger operated much more reliably. So I'm going to work on that, and we'll see how it goes. Let's see how we do assembling this E-unit here. It's going to be a little tricky, just to get everything in position here, but let's try it, see what happens, and see if I can put it together at least a little bit correctly. I'm going to put this piece in first here. Let's try to sneak this thing in here, hopefully. It's a little tough because the wires are stiff here. Hopefully I'm not bending my wires too much, or my leads. Yeah, tweaked them a little bit, but like I said, these things are just really fragile. There we go. Oh, jeez. Man. I'm just checking if my backplate broke. It didn't. Man, this wire just twisted right up there, the lead here. There we go. That looks pretty good. Alright. I'm gonna see, we gotta set the plunger in. We gotta set everything in. It does get kind of complicated here. We'll put the plunger in last. So we got the drum. Okay, we got that setting in there. I might not be installing this in the easiest manner, but that's okay. I did polish this guy up in the sleeve there, so that should be a little better. There. Get this guy in. Definitely a tricky thing to do here. Alright, that's it. Probably should have put the plunger in first, but that's okay. Tell you, these fingers just kind of flex all over the place. Alright. Doesn't matter which way you put this in, so watch out for that. Okay. So I'm just kind of... I was watching the fingers as I put in the drum here. Just making sure they had good tension, and they do. They got really good tension. Alright, so now we got the bottom plate. Needs to go in. Hopefully I put it in the right way. Actually, it's pretty simple. So we got our fingers here. They're cleaned. Drum will probably pop out a little bit when I put this plate in, but that's okay. Alright, that actually looks pretty darn good. The drum is in position. The back plate is in position, and the bottom plate's in position, and the pawl is working freely. So all you got to do is squeeze it right on the 2 points, and it doesn't take much pressure and just snaps in place. Sorry about that. That's pretty much it. Drum rotates freely. Alright, we're good. Moment of truth. Will it go forward? Will it go backward? Will it not do anything? Let's find out. Let's see here. Let's put her over here. Okay, good. Alright, there's forward. Good. Excellent! I think we got a runner. I don't think the GG1's hurt by that. Yeah, the first unit gets a little sluggish at lower voltages here. Alright. Excellent. Very good. I'm very happy with that. Well, there you have it. It is now a running chassis. I'm really happy with it. It's not perfect. The wheels are a little worn, and that causes it to kind of crash into the gears a little bit on some of the corners. In the forward direction only, which is kind of odd, but it's an old model and it's a runner, so I am not complaining. So let me know what you guys think about this longer form video where I go into really a lot of detail on it. I'm curious about your thoughts, because I'm going to break this into multiple pieces because we're over a half hour right now, and I've shown you a lot of detail. I haven't cut out too much, but there's still the smoke unit to go through, which I have the parts ordered. And in the second video, if there's enough time, we'll go through the whistling tender. If not, we'll make it a third video. See, it's going pretty good. I'm really looking forward to seeing this thing bow back together. So also in the next video, I'm going to start out by cleaning this sucker. I'm not going to show you the details of cleaning it because soap and water will be my main thing. But some of this corrosion, I might hit up with a little Scotch-Brite or something and see what happens. I don't know. Who knows? This is just a rough and tumble shell. I'm not going to paint it. It is what it is. I want to say thank you very much for watching. And again, Let me know what you think. My name is Jeremy with Too Many Hobbies. Definitely too many hobbies.